Seal to Silver coming for you. Con gameplay, storie e review, la noia non c'è più. Dai, tuffati anche tu nel mondo di Sion.
Salve a tutti cari amici e bentornati su Vampyr. Dunque un nuovo episodio, siamo ancora nell'area del porto, dobbiamo inseguire Sean Hampton, come ben sapete, che pare essere in questa zona, ma in questa zona abbiamo anche la collana da recuperare. Come vedete il pad non si ferma qua, quindi però in qualche modo ci proviamo. Allora, proviamo con questo sconosciuto.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsberry.
Allora, per chi ha seguito lo scorso episodio sapete che Rufus Kingsberry ha anche un problema di anemia, quindi abbiamo due, come vedete, medicine, gliele diamo subito.
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
Vai.
A real doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Allora, lui è il motivo della disputa tra la madre e il figlio che abbiamo visto nel finale dell'altro episodio, di cui non ricordo bene i nomi, però domande personali. Sei da solo?
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home. You're sleeping rough.
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
Allora, è tragico.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburn. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Nuova indagine, nuovo indizio. Stella è come una madre per Rufus Kingsberry. Ok, nuovo indizio. Rufus considera Stella Fishburn come una figura materna. Cosa ne pensi di Seymour?
Rufus, tell me what you really think about Seymour Fishburn.
Seymour, he just scares me. A lot. Actually, he scares many people round here, even big fellows.
You mean his brutality is infinite?
Allora, Rufus si sente minacciato dal comportamento di Seymour Fishburn. Bene.
Even in this shady part of town. That's impressive.
Yes, sir. How someone like that can be related to Mrs. Fishburn, well, it beggars belief.
Allora, ama davvero suo figlio.
Maybe she loves her son so much, she is blind to his misdeeds.
If so, she wouldn't hide her sadness, would she?
What do you mean?
It passes across her eyes sometimes, when she thinks she's alone. She hides it from everyone.
Allora, di questa parte della città.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Perché ti evitano?
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Hai mai pensato di andartene?
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Che cosa farei qui?
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Hai un lavoro?
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
Voci recenti?
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Ok. Domande personali abbiamo fatto tutto, quindi Sean Hampton.
Do
Sto
you know a
cercando.
man who lives in this part of town? A man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
Ovviamente
So long,
sapevamo
Rufus.
già, ragazzi, che dobbiamo andare da da Tom Watts perché ci siamo andati all'altro episodio. Sto facendo le domande solo per completismo,
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
Mi lasci entrare.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburn. Stella Fishburn. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in?
Allora, la nostra fascinazione di livello 2 ha avuto successo, ragazzi, quindi buona cosa. Ora facciamo un giro della casa e gli lootiamo tutto. Così in questo modo ci prendiamo nuovi materiali. Potremmo anche nutrirci della madre, con un bel morso vampirico, ma non è
So
quello
you have
che
questions
faremo.
about the flu then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
La sua vita a Londra. Allora, com'è la vita
How
qui?
is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Allora, l'epidemia genera violenza?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Allora, lei sta bene, è in salute, La violenza genera violenza.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
Indietro. Cosa fa nella vita?
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburn?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Che tempi allucinanti, veramente. Suo marito è morto in guerra.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
Come paga l'affitto?
How do you pay the rent then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
Dietro. Mi parli di quell'orfano.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
Indietro. La vita a Londra. Abbiamo chiesto domande personali. Indizi. Non abbiamo niente. Ora, per completismo, ragazzi.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the sad saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburn.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is, But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
È più generalista,
Goodbye, Miss Fishburn. Take care of yourself. It's locked.
Chiusa a chiave.
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry.
Allora, possiamo parlare ancora con Rufus, abbiamo degli
Evening,
indizi da
Rufus.
usare.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
No, non
So long,
Rufus,
Rufus.
scusate, ho sbagliato. Con l'altro, con Seymour. E in questa zona dovremmo poter trovare la collana. La porta è chiusa, ma possiamo osservare. Attenzione, vai. Forse c'era lui la collana della signora. Sarebbe una bella mancanza di rispetto,
Hey, stop biting me. I'm not a piece of cheese.
Guardate, possiamo osservare quando va lì. Però come raggiungiamo quella zona? Dobbiamo scendere di qua? Dai, dai, dai.
You should eat more, Jack. You can feel your bones these days. Don't worry. I'll always be here for you.
It's locked, all right.
Chiave. E qua possiamo andare avanti nella nostra indagine. Collana insanguinata da Seymour per la mia amata madre Stella.
From Seymour to my beloved mother. Stella. Fishburn, that sneaky bastard.
Dunque, che cosa vuoi dire? Allora, io la riporterei a Seymour e gli farei delle domande. Ecco qua.
Good evening, Mr. Fishburn.
Yeah, yeah.
Allora, domande personali, possiamo chiedergli qualcosa dell'orfano. Perché sta spaventando Rufus?
Seymour, why are you scaring young Rufus?
I don't like his act to gain me mother's trust. I don't like it at all. Little bugger is like a fly around shit.
Lei dovrebbe aiutare Rufus.
Young Rufus seems quite harmless to me. Your support could change his life for the better.
I don't believe in kindness nor innocence, sir. The boy is either a fool or a hypocrite who hides his hand well.
Ho trovato il regalo e i cadaveri.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburn.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
Allora, è un assassino recidivo. Voglio cercare di
As a
capire.
man of science, I'd like to try to understand why you killed those people.
Why does there need to be a reason? They were just there. It happened. That's all.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reed. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
Allora. Andiamo indietro. Mi parli delle sue vittime.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times. That's all.
Nessuna empatia?
You feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Quante vittime?
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
Prova piacere nell'uccidere.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
Dovrebbe cercare aiuto.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Fa resistenza alla sua
This
rabbia.
rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum, I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
Ora abbiamo un indizio da andare a portare. Stella può contenere l'aggressività del figlio Seymour. Seymour Fishburn. Allora, sembra essere contenuta dalla madre la sua aggressività. Quindi immagini uno scenario di questo gioco dove noi potremmo uccidere la madre, prosciugandola e mordendola sul collo e dare libero sfogo alla rabbia di Seymour in questo modo. Perché sua madre la sta proteggendo?
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
I'm her son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead? She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
Allora, capisco il suo dilemma.
I understand your mother's situation. Obtaining justice at the price of betraying her own flesh. It's quite a dilemma.
It might be my mum's wish that I end up swinging from a hangman's noose. But she wouldn't want to be the one who ties a knot round my neck.
Ok, nuovo indizio disponibile. Li abbiamo tutti. Si rifiuta di condannare il figlio Seymour denunciandolo. Ecco qua. Indietro. Abbiamo chiesto tutto, quindi con Seymour
Goodbye,
chiudiamo
Mr. Fishburn.
qua, ragazzi. Indagine riuscita, quindi sono altri punti esperienza che ci arrivano. Ed entriamo da Stella Fishburn. È tempo di affrontare anche lei.
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburn. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reed. I'm not sure the epidemic is what worries people most these days.
Allora, vediamo se parlando con lei possiamo ottenere la chiave.
What can I do for you, Dr. Reed?
Domande personali. Guardate, abbiamo sbloccato tutto qua e non qua, però qui abbiamo tutto sbloccato. Perché protegge Seymour?
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
I can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his death.
Allora, non è responsabile.
I'm convinced you raised Seymour the best you could. You're not responsible for what he became.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Riguardo ai demoni di Seymour.
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child, and he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburn. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
Allora, la mente umana è un mistero, però è pericoloso dirgli questo, È pienamente responsabile.
I'm afraid these demons, as he calls them, are just a delusional justification to distance himself from his actions.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
Suo figlio è un assassino.
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Allora, Seymour le ha raccontato tutto.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Perché ha confessato?
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Indietro, indietro. E indietro.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburn. Take care of yourself.
Sostanzialmente andare a parlare con la madre non ci ha giovato. Quindi, come vedete, a questo punto abbiamo fatto questa indagine. Ragazzi, ho intenzione di rendere questo video un episodio speciale del canale, della nostra run di appunto Vampyr. Dunque, spostiamo un po' la visuale, ok, così ci copriamo anche Rufus. Allora ragazzi, se vi è piaciuto questo episodio, mi raccomando, speciale appunto punto 5, lasciate like. Se vi è stato utile per come trovare la collana, indagare su espandendo la lore di questa cerchia sociale di queste tre persone, noi ci vediamo per andare a cercare Sean Hampton appunto all'East End, quindi andare a vedere cosa succede. Iscrivetevi al canale ovviamente per sapere quando metterò online tramite notifica un nuovo episodio di Vampyr, e noi ci vediamo come sempre alla prossima. Ciao ciao a tutti e grazie di aver visto l'episodio speciale.